my IDW to-do list that I gave you. Fill out your ideas that you want to implement. I have a cousin to that, and it's called Today in Class I Learned. It's a one-page document that I made up. Today in Class I've learned, and then I have 5 of them, and it's on 8.5 by 11. And I started handing those out in core about 3 or 4 months ago for students to fill out when they learn something in class, and they write it. And last month, I was teaching core 2014, and I handed out at the beginning, and I tell them, I say, you know what? I think you're really going to learn a lot today. I'm very positive. You're going to really learn a lot today. We got a great core this year. In fact, you're going to learn so much, you may forget what you're going to learn. So I'm going to give you a little document for you to write down all the cool things that you've learned in core this year that you need to implement in your career. And I handed this out. On the second break, a gal came up to me and says, Mike, do you have another one of those things I learned today? I said, sure. She goes, I've filled mine out already. I have like 8 things on there and I've run out of room. So I was just wanting another one if you have another one. She says, I can't believe all the stuff I'm learning in core. That's a really cool thing to have us write down, because I know I learn things, but sometimes I don't realize I'm learning a lot of stuff. It made me feel good as an instructor. I'm sensing a little low energy going on. So I'm going to do a quick Thinkpairshare. I'm going to make one up right now. And I want you to turn to row 1. I want you to turn around to the person behind you on row 2. 3s, turn around. Row 4, 5s, turn around to 6. And 7s, turn around to 8. Meet your person while you give me a second to do a Thinkpairshare. Tell them where you were born. Here we go. I want you to think of, I want you to share with your partner. You may take it, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about it first, and then I'm going to share with your partner. What is the one thing that you want to implement from today's discussion? What's the one thing that you are going to start using in your teaching? So think about it for 30 seconds, and then share with each other. Anyway, so do you feel a little more refreshed than you did 5 minutes ago? I was losing you 5 minutes ago, I can tell. So if you are starting to lose your class, especially in the afternoon, between 2 and 3 is when you start losing them. That's our natural biorhythms do that, I learned, especially after a nice big lunch filled with carbohydrates. We get sleepy. So you gotta do a little change up. Do a quick little pair activity, a group activity, a stretch or something. There's a couple more ideas coming in here. Okay, panelists, a town hall is, a true town hall is where we're talking about something, and I invite one student come up to make a couple statements about that topic, and then that person gets to pick another person that comes up, and that's a true town hall. Some people may be uncomfortable with that if they're chosen to come up and talk and they're kind of a shy and reluctant student. Panel discussions, these are guests invited in. I've had some classes where I've had hand-chosen agents around town who I felt were exceptional at X, marketing properties. And I invited 3 of them into class, and we sat them in front. I had pre-prepared questions, and I told them the questions before I was going to ask them, but I let the audience ask them questions too. It was great. It lasted 45 minutes. And the agents in class were appreciative of these 3 really exceptional agents who on marketing property came in and shared their ideas. Panel discussion, things like that. Guest speakers. Anybody bring guest speakers in to your classes? What do you bring? Who do you bring in? A lender for a pre-licensed class or even a finance class?
I brought Barbie in.
That's how I got started. She begged me to speak on door knocking, and I said I couldn't get up and teach a class more than I could shoot. I was shaking. He said, come on.
Hey, and they fell in love with teaching.
That's
an aerial photograph of the subject properties. So that would be fun to have in class, right? So he's going to email it to me, and I'm going to put it on Dropbox, and you guys can go get it and put it in your PowerPoint. That'll be fun. So thank you, Steve. Let's give Steve a round of applause. That was such an exceptional effort, Steve. I'm going to give him a Gold star. How many of you give gold stars in class? Students love it. Adult students love it. I've been doing it for years. And it's fun. When I get an exceptional comment or exceptional performance or a great answer or something interesting from a student, I give them a gold star. And it's funny, the students start trying to earn the gold star. I'm telling you the truth. They want to earn the gold stars. And so when somebody gives a comment and I liked it, they'll say, "Can I get a gold star for that?" They start lobbying for it, and others will say, "I think he deserves a gold star for that." So the more I teach, the more I'm convinced that adults are just kids in big bodies. We love all that stuff that happened to us in grade school. That's my view of it. So raise your hand if you have a technique that you use up. Okay. Barb, do you mind if I ask you what it is?
When I'm teaching the law part of 13, that we all know and love so much, I go through the district court did this, and then I become an actress, and I go, well, wait, this went to the Supreme Court, and become very dramatic about the whole thing.
Okay, excellent. Okay, what I just did, where I said, how many of you do this? Raise your hand. That's a technique you can use in lecture all the time. That's called a survey with Exemplifier. You just asked, and several of you did it yesterday. You just did it naturally. That's called a survey with Exemplifier. Build them in. Don't just, you plan them. They can look like they're spontaneous, but they can plan them. Put them in your PowerPoints. How many of you have done this and have somebody raise their hand? Okay. Let's see if I can get this. Oops. There it is. Making a video for your class is fast and easy. I'll demonstrate. Dorky, huh? That needs to be replaced with a decent video. You're going to video us. All right. So, Mike, pretend like you're giving me the agency disclosure brochure at first substantial business contact. And I want you to film 15 seconds, maybe. Okay, you ready? All right, so here we go.
Hey Mike, I've got the agency disclosure brochure to be able to go over that, make sure that you can select which is best for you.
Okay, great. Cut. All right. Now, email that to me. I hope this works. I hope this works.
The file might be too big. She might be better off putting their Dropbox to you.
Stop it, Kelsey.
I don't have Dropbox.
That's code for, I don't know what you just said. And so I edited the Mastering Real Estate Principles. Not the modern, not the yellow one, not that one, but the other one. And as I'm reading through it, every single page, I'm thinking, there's some good stuff in here. This is pretty good. So I started using it. That was it, Tracy. That was it. So it was just by happens. This is called entry and exit cards. Michelle, can you help?
Yes.
All right, everybody's up. This is an exit ticket. I'm going to ask the following question, and I want you to fill it out. And this is to garner information about how well your class is absorbing something. Or you can make it for anything. One of the more common ones is, what was the muddiest point in the morning presentation? But I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use what would you have liked we spent more time on in the morning session? So more time. So just take a few moments. What thing would you have liked us to spend a little more time on this morning? You don't have to write your name on it. In fact, it's recommended you not write your name on it unless you want the instructor to talk to you about it. So you can write whatever you want anonymously. So you get, I think you get a little more truthful feedback that way. Here it is right there. Boom. Insert. It's that fast. Now watch this. All right, so I'm actually gonna play it. So here we go.
Hey Mike, I've got the agency disclosure brochure, and I'm required by Idaho law to give this to you. Talks a little bit about being a customer that make sure that you can select which is best.
Okay, great.
Cut.
Cut. There we go. Thank you. Now here's something that we've been doing at my school, and I've been doing for a real long time, and I didn't know there was a name for it. It's called a gapped handout. So in your outline on the bottom of page 9, notice that I put a gap in some of those points. And then on your PowerPoint, you have a fill in the line. See that? This is called a gapped handout. I didn't know there was a name of what we did. I've always liked this. I've always used this technique. And if you've taught at my school and some of the courses that I've designed, you see gapped handouts all the time. Now, unfortunately, it requires you to do a copy paste of the material. So that goes contrary to what I taught you in the PowerPoint section. But I still think you can do a gapped handout even with the PowerPoint with the 6x6 by just putting the gap up there, okay? It means the students have to listen actively to get the word that they fill in there, okay? So it spares the student blank note-taking, thereby should generate greater concentration on the lecture. So think for a minute what Mike's word is in that blank. Just think, don't talk, think. You got your word? Turn to your partner and share your word and decide which is the best one that you're going to enter into the contest to see if we can guess Mike's word. Turn to your partner, share your word, and decide who has the best word. You ready? Okay, now, you're going to enter by just raising your hand. You don't have to volunteer. Let's see if you can guess Mike's word. Anybody like to enter their word? Yes. Excessive. Good, but no. Jeff? Extensive. Also good, but no. Kaylin? Compulsive. Good, but no. Mike?
Massive?
Massive? No. Barb?
Obsessive.
Obsessive? No. Copious? All good, but no. Written? No. Excuse me? From? No. Does that work? From? Yeah. I wasn't able to say that was a good word, Maris, but it actually is. I take that back. I thought it. I didn't say it. Good word. Distraction. Wrong. Yes. Random? No. Betty, what's your word?
Well, I got it from Georgia. It's constant.
Constant? No. Oh, this is excellent. Patricia? Extra? No. Somebody's got to get it. I got a prize. We're going to keep going. Excuse me? Any? No? No? It's something that it's a job just do. Oh, Lord.
Tedious.
Tedious. Hey, right there. Tedious.
That deserves a star.
Oh, that definitely deserves a star. And it deserves pulling out of the prize bucket. Thank you, Mike. Okay, you get one prize, and you get a gold star. You know what? You want a red or gold star, Shelley?
Oh, which is better?
I just pulled the red one. Did you grab your prize? Excellent. Okay, all of those good words. Even Maris had a good word.
But I don't get a star.
No, you don't. I decided to get the stars. That's the class rule. Distracted. Yeah, there's lots of good words in there, but I want you to figure out. Now, you know what we just did? That's called a Thinkpairshare. That's a classic lecture technique that breaks it up. It was kind of fun, wasn't it? Use a gapped handout. You can do Thinkpairshare for anything, but it'd be fun in a gapped handout for they have to guess the word that goes in there. Just